monsters and enemy forces, and basically Link is going to have to go back and forth between Skyloft and the world below to save it. And he's going to do that with the aid of...
Skyward Sword?
Yeah. With the aid of her. That is the Skyward Sword. They have not given the character a name yet, but it's going to take human form whenever it aids Link. And that is the sword that Link will be using, so that is why Link does not have his sword in that picture, is because she's in human form. And I'm sorry if this is spoilers, but they told us this, but at some point in the game she becomes the Master Sword. So... But I will tell you this, they made a joke about someone going to have to gather 3 Skyward Sword pieces and put them together to make the Skyward Master Sword. Not this time. So I'm presuming there's going to be no gathering of medallions or spiritual stones or something like that. So yeah, no name yet, but that's going to be your aid in the game, and it's supposedly going to be talking to you to go through the adventure.
Is it going to keep yelling, hey, listen?
I don't know if it's going to be like Navi though, it's your sword, maybe more
like in Ocarina of Time.
Maybe Midna, sort of.
Listen.
Another key point is that during the interviews, they kept referring to some part of the game as Hyrule. But they have not specifically clarified if they meant Skyloft or the land below as Hyrule. And I pretty much assume that he means the world below is Hyrule and it's overrun by evil.
What about the Uku?
But apparently the game will take place in Hyrule at some point and somewhere. And you basically travel between Skyloft and the world below. And there will supposedly be some means to go back and forth between the sky and the ground, so either warping or some kind of flying mechanism will be apparent. And Anuma said last year when he was discussing Spirit Tracks why he decided to use a train, he said that his little kid wanted to see a train in a Zelda game, and then he asked this kid, like, what else did he want to see? He goes, I want to see Link fly. So supposedly Link will be flying in this game, but don't think of Final Fantasy airships or stuff like that. I have a gut feeling that's not going to be what it is. So dragon, or I don't know, maybe some steampunk. Who knows? As for other key characters, there's been no mention on Ganon or Zelda or even the Triforce yet. But and again, they have not said anything about the timeline placement. But if you're looking for timeline speculation, as I said, the Skyward Sword becomes the Master Sword at some point in the game. So I don't know how many of you know the origin story behind the Master Sword, but in Twilight Princess, basically, Zelda said that the sages created it. The sages created the Master Sword. So if this living object is the Skyward Sword, it becomes the Master Sword. So it's safe to say that if this is the origin story of the Master Sword, that there'll be sages involved, and probably the Triforce, and the Triforce is usually Zelda and Ganon, so don't be surprised if Ganon shows up somewhere. He usually does. Let's just hope he doesn't get shoehorned in at the last minute. But one key thing I do want to show off is the logo for the game.
Adobe has to ruin everything. He's got all the Zelda logos.
So okay, this is the logo for the game. And one thing I want to point out is that since Majora's Mask, the image in the logo has been a key story or gameplay mechanic. So Majora's Mask, obviously it's the mask. In Oracle of Ages and Seasons, it's the fruit. The Wind Waker is the King of Red Lions. Four Swords is the Four Swords. This is the Japanese version of Minish Cap. It's Eslo, it is in the logo. And in the US version, it's the Four Sword. Twilight Princess, obviously you have Midna's helmet, and you have Link's wolf form alluded to. Phantom Hourglass, we have the hourglass, and the Japanese version has a bow. Link's crossbow training has a target, and Spirit Tracks has a train. So we come back to this. That is the emblem of the royal family of Hyrule. It's their royal crest. So safe to assume that the Triforce, the royal family, or Zelda is going to be in there, because the logo has been such an important part of the game. And that's a better version of the emblem. As we saw on the walkthrough about enemies, there's a lot of returning enemies. There was one thing I want to point out is that the thing that looked like a Deku scrub, that was they kept referring to it as an Octorok in the walkthroughs and everything, and so they did it more than once. So I'm pretty sure that that is going to be an Octorok, even though it looked like a Deku scrub. So that was interesting. Deku Babas obviously are back. The Keys, the bats are back. There's a Staphos boss, which I can show you in a little bit. The Scorpion, there's the Waltalas, the spider-like enemies. And then in the trailer they showed a little bit of a fire area, which was for some reason cut out of the E3 demo, which had a toad pulley, the little fire toad things that come out of the lava. And those bokoblins, still no real moblins yet. And then obviously the enemy, the giant Scorpion, which is nameless, so that gave everyone trouble. And that's pretty much it. I'll just show you guys 2 of the boss battles that are also there real quick.